Okay, so picture this. You're dropped into the middle of nowhere with a total stranger. The mission? Just survive. But the prize is absolutely insane. $10,000 for every single day you last. This was a wild social experiment from Mr. Beast that pushed two guys to their absolute breaking limits. Right from the jump, the stakes are made perfectly clear. I mean, this isn't just about winning some contest. It's about a fortune that could change their lives forever. That promise, the idea of becoming millionaires, is going to hang over every single decision they make from here on out. Seriously, let that sink in. 10 grand dropped from a plane every 24 hours. The only thing stopping them is their own endurance. That potential for basically unlimited money is dangling right in front of them. But man, as they're about to find out, it comes at a huge cost. So who are the guys taking on this crazy challenge? Meet Hase and Grizz. They've never even met before this moment, but they're instantly connected by this unbelievable opportunity. Their first reaction is just pure excitement. They're not even thinking of it as a survival test. They're seeing it as a business partnership to get rich. And they are thinking big, right out of the gate. They do the math real quick. If they stick it out for a whole year, that's over $3.6 million each. So the plan is set. 1 year. Easy, right? At this point, the reality of what they've signed up for hasn't even begun to hit them. Well, that early optimism just slams headfirst into the brutal reality of the wilderness. The first few days are a complete shock to the system. All of a sudden, that dream of millions of dollars gets buried under the much more immediate need for food, for warmth, for just a few hours of sleep. And the struggle was no joke. They were getting, on average, just 2 hours of sleep a night because it was so cold. When their initial 5-day food supply was gone, they were literally eating leaves just to survive. And their shelter? It was a roof they scraped together out of pine needles and some random part of an old swing set. This was the real grind behind that million-dollar fantasy. So just when they're starting to get into this bleak rhythm of pure survival, the game changes. Mr. Beast starts dropping in these temptations, offers for comfort and supplies, but they all cost a ton of money. It forces them to constantly ask, what's more important, our immediate survival or the final cash prize? On day 10, they've been starving for days, and the first huge offer comes down, a crate filled with food and supplies. The price tag? A whopping $50,000. That's 5 full days of work. But they were so hungry, they just had to take the deal. But then something changes. On day 20, another $50,000 offer comes in, this time for these amazing high-tech sleeping bags. And you think they'd say yes in a heartbeat, right? Nope. They turn it down. They decide to just endure the cold. This is a huge shift. It shows they're learning how to suffer to protect that prize money. And then on day 30, their willpower gets tested again. Mr. Beast brings a literal store into the woods. He's offering things like pre-cut firewood, cooking supplies, even books, all for 10 grand apiece. And after everything they've been through, they buy zero, nothing. It just goes to show how much they've changed since that first desperate food purchase. They've totally mastered the art of saying no. But look, beating the physical challenges, that's only half the fight. As the days turn into weeks, surviving the cold and the hunger starts to take a backseat to this way deeper psychological battle. And the cracks in their partnership, they really start to show, especially for Haz. And this is where you really feel the human cost of this whole thing. Hase is a dad, and the isolation is just eating him alive. The fight for him isn't about hunger anymore. It's about the pure agony of being away from his kids. The money is starting to mean a lot less than the time he's losing with his family. So after turning down awesome sleeping bags and a whole store full of supplies, you've got to wonder, right? Is there anything that could get them to spend their money? Well, Mr. Beast comes up with one final test, but this one isn't about their bodies, it's about their hearts. Day 40, the offer is a chance to see their wives and kids for just $10,000, and there's zero hesitation. They instantly say yes, and this visit, man, it becomes the emotional turning point for the entire challenge. But that reunion is a total double-edged sword. Sure, it's a huge morale boost, but it also slams them with the reality of what they're missing. Haas's wife literally begs him to come home, telling him he's already made enough money. All of a sudden, this isn't about a shared goal anymore. It's a gut-wrenching conflict between his family and his partner. After that family visit, everything changes. The easy friendship, the jokes, it all starts to disappear. Hayes wants to go home, but Grizz is determined to stay and earn more. And all that pressure that's been building up, it finally just explodes. And this is the moment the friendship just shatters. In the middle of a huge fight, Hayes just snaps. That one line tells you everything about how frayed their nerves are. The stress, the isolation, the emotional roller coaster, it's just worn them down to nothing. So, feeling like he's trapped with no way out, Hazay does something drastic. He secretly digs through Grizz's bag and steals the flare gun, the one thing that can end the challenge for both of them. He's decided he's going to take control of the situation himself. And this reveals everything. It's not about the money anymore. It's not about winning. For Haas, that flare gun is his one-way ticket back to being a father. It's a completely desperate and heartbreaking moment. So this is it. This is the climax. Grizz sees how close Hades is to completely breaking down, and he's faced with the ultimate choice. Does he push his friend to stay for more cash, or does he let go of the $1 million dream to save the bond they've somehow managed to build out here? And in just an incredible moment of kindness, Grizz makes the call. He sees his friend's pain, he acknowledges it, and he puts their friendship first. He tells Hasay, "You're right, it's time to go home." He sacrifices his own dream for his friend's sanity. And so, after 74 brutal days of starvation, freezing nights, impossible temptations, and emotional breakdowns, it all comes down to this. In one final act of unity, Grizz hands the flare gun to Haas, and together, they shoot it into the sky, ending their insane journey. So no, they didn't make it a year, they didn't become multimillionaires. But they walked out of those woods with $670,000 to split. An absolutely life-changing amount of money that they earned through unimaginable hardship. You know, in the end, this whole thing became less about how much money two guys could win and more about what they were willing to lose for each other. They walked in as strangers hunting a fortune, and they walked out as brothers who chose friendship over money. It really makes you wonder, what's the real prize here?